Money. The thing you work for, dream about, and chase your whole life doesn't even exist the way you think it does. Because the truth is, banks don't just store money. They create it. Not from gold, not from savings, but literally out of thin air. Sounds impossible, right? That's exactly how they want it to sound, confusing enough that you never question it. But once you understand how the system really works, you'll see why money feels like it keeps disappearing from your hands, while the rich keep multiplying it without effort. So, let's start with the illusion. You walk into a bank, deposit $1,000. You think the bank holds that $1,000 for you safe? Locked away? But that's a lie. By law, the bank can keep only a small fraction, say $100, and lend out the rest. The $900 loaned out to someone else becomes their money. They spend it, or lands in another bank, and that bank repeats the process. Within days, your original $1,000 has magically turned into $9,000 circulating in the economy. Created. Out of nothing. No gold, no printing press, just digital debt. That is the hidden power of fractional reserve banking, a system that rewards the illusion of value instead of the reality of it. Think about it. Every time someone takes a loan, new money is born. Every time they repay it, that money dies. The entire global economy breathes expanding and contracting based on debt. You think the government prints most of the money? Wrong. Private banks do. More than 90% of money in circulation doesn't come from the mint. It comes from credit creation. Every mortgage, every student loan, every swipe of your card is a new piece of money that never existed before. The bank doesn't hand you someone else's cash. It simply types numbers into your account. And boom, new money exists. You don't own it. You owe it. And that's the key difference. Let's take a real example. The 2008 financial crisis. Banks created trillions of dollars in fake money through housing loans. They lent to people who couldn't afford to repay, then sold those debts as assets. When the system collapsed, governments printed more money to rescue the same banks that caused it. The people lost homes. The banks gained bonuses. And the debt-created money machine grew even stronger. Because every crash becomes an opportunity to create more debt, and therefore, more money. You might wonder if banks can just create money from nothing. Why do we still have poverty? Because the game isn't about creating wealth, it's about controlling it. The new money always flows to the top first. When a bank issues a loan, it decides who gets access to new money first. Corporations, governments, big investors, they get cheap credit. You get high interest. That's how inflation quietly robs you. When new money is created, prices rise. Your salary stays the same, and your savings lose value. Every time the bank hits enter, your future buying power shrinks. This isn't conspiracy, it's policy. It's how the Federal Reserve, the ECB, and every central bank keeps the illusion alive. You see, the central bank doesn't print money either. It creates reserves, which commercial banks use to expand credit. That's why during COVID, trillions appeared overnight. Not printed, but created digitally. The system isn't backed by gold anymore. It's backed by trust, or, more precisely, belief. The belief that those digits in your account represent real value. But value doesn't exist until someone works. Money is supposed to measure labor, not replace it. Yet in today's world, banks make billions without producing a single product. They lend promises, charge interest, and profit from the flow of time itself. That's not business. That's sorcery, turning nothing into something and making you pay for the magic trick. Take this example. You deposit $1,000. The bank lends out $900, earns interest, gives you a small 2% return while charging 18% on the money it never actually had. The system literally profits from your belief that the money was real in the first place. The deeper you look, the darker it gets. Governments borrow from these same banks, issuing bonds promises to pay later with your taxes. So, your future labor is used as collateral for money that doesn't even exist yet. And the interest, that's the cost of believing in an illusion. This is why the rich seem untouchable. They understand the system isn't about earning, It's about access and creation. They borrow to buy assets that appreciate while inflation destroys your savings. They play with money that was born out of air and multiply it through investment. Meanwhile, you retaught to save, the dumbest thing to do in a system that constantly devalues money. The banks know it. That's why they lend, not save. They expand, not hold. They create, not earn, because the power isn't in money itself. It is in the right to create it, and only a few institutions have that right. Every country's central bank, connected through a global web of credit, determines the value of your effort by changing a number on a screen. That's their real power. Invisible, mathematical, absolute. We live in a digital feudal system now, not ruled by kings, but by credit creators. And as long as you keep borrowing, they keep ruling. The entire global economy is one giant spreadsheet of promises backed by nothing but faith and fear. And the craziest part, it works, because we all agreed to believe in it. So next time you check your balance, remember that number isn't real. It's an entry in a system that can erase or expand at will. You're not holding money. You're holding debt disguised as wealth. Banks don't just manage money. They manufacture it. And the moment you understand that truth, you realize something terrifying. They don't just own the money supply. They own time, effort, and the illusion of value itself. That is how banks create money out of thin air and make the world believe it is real.